Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nurse New Bully. I'm your host Leroy, aka the Skipper, with my co-hosts.
Yeah, this is Eli, aka Dusty Buns.
There you go. Is that a porn name? I guess
It could be.
it could be. Yeah, top or bottom. Yeah, and we're back with another episode, and yeah, just want to say this is okay, there you go. I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, back with another episode. Just want to say praise basketball Jesus. Want to make sure we have a good show today. I don't know where I
there's
find
some
that poster.
sports competitions going on right now. Huh?
Some
I hear.
not foosball.
I hear, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And first off, like I said, we got a jam-packed show. We got a bunch of stuff that's going on right now. So we're just gonna jump into it. We were actually talking before the show how we're gonna trim the fat. We're just gonna jump into it. So first thing we want to say is rest in peace to a legend, Ray Liotta. I want to say rest in peace to Ray Liotta. Like I said, he is a household name. Like a lot of times we talk about, famous people that have passed, and like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Everybody knows Ray Liotta. He's like I said, he's a legend. He's played in no matter what movie he's played in a movie you have seen. Like I said, he's played in famous role. Did he win for Goodfellas?
I don't think he won. Goodfellas didn't win shit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It lost to Dances with Wolves. So I'm conflicted about that because like Goodfellas is one of my all-time favorite movies. If not,
it's a lot of people's all-time favorite movie.
Yeah, if not my favorite movie of all time. This is next to Star Wars. If I'm not counting Star Wars shit. But but Dances with Wolves like swept the Oscars that year.
Wow. Okay. But
so
like
I'm conflicted.
Like I said, that was his breakout role, his standout role, Henry Hill in Goodfellas. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, what the hell are you doing? Go watch Goodfellas. That's a great movie. Like I said, he was also in Field of Dreams. Was he Kevin Costner's father in that movie? I can't remember.
I thought he came when he built it.
Right, you build it, they will come. But I thought he was somebody anyway. He was also in a movie that you hated, but I love that Many Saints of Newark.
Oh, the Sopranos.
Right,
he was
right where he actually played
Mickey's
two mob bosses
or whatever. Yeah,
right. How do you play two mob bosses in a movie? But okay, yeah, it's not the multiverse, whatever. He just played two roles because he's Ray Liotta. He just do whatever the fuck he wants to. But that's the thing. Even though Ray Liotta, if he wanted to just play just tough guys and gangsters all day, he could do that. But the thing about Ray Liotta is that he never like put himself in a box. He would pop up in any movie. He would pop up in like a Muppets movie. Just playing it and just be there. One of my favorite roles he ever did was in Heartbreakers. When he played like a kind of a scumbag in that, but he wasn't kind of a scumbag. And it's not because Jennifer Love Hewitt in 2000 was like the perfect white woman, or maybe it was.
Yeah, I remember that movie. Well, I remember.
You remember that movie? Yeah. But yeah, he was awesome in that. My favorite line of that movie: "I was doing fine, and you two bitches came into my life." I like that line. But
Johnny Depp's dad in was it Blow?
He was yes. That's the thing. Like a lot of movies you'll watch and Ray Liotta just pop up. You're like, oh, Ray Liotta's in this movie.
What was that movie with Whoopi Goldberg where Whoopi Goldberg? I forget. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Hannibal. He was in Hannibal. Now, Hannibal sucked to me. I thought it was a movie, but he had the best scene in the movie. That was a memorable.
You remember
scene.
His scene in that movie?
You don't remember anything else, but you remember his scene in that movie. I'm not going to spoil it. I don't want to get demonetized. We're not getting paid anyway, but still, I want to get flagged. But if you haven't seen it, go watch Hannibal. Just fast forward to that scene. You remember it. It's a classic scene. But here's the thing, Eli. Okay, so Ray Liotta did all this stuff. He played in, he played in Goodfellas. Yeah, he played in all these fancy movies, stuff like that. But that wasn't his greatest role. His greatest role,
Copland?
No, Tommy Vercetti in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. That's his greatest role. Yes, he would play that. And it wasn't like he was playing like a side character or some NPC or something like that. No, he was the main guy. So when you're playing this game and you're running from like a 2-bit mobster like to the biggest crime boss in Miami, you're playing as Ray Liotta, where he's voicing him. It really puts you in the role of the character. Now, that was back in like the early 2000s. I think he broke the mold because when he did that, I think a lot of celebrities and a lot of like Hollywood actors like, oh, we can take this shit serious as a role. So they decided that's why you start seeing more celebrities jump into the role of video games. Like you had the whole cast of Firefly do like a Halo game, instead of just characters like that. So yeah, like I said, and then some artists did this rendition of him. This isn't in the game, but they did this rendition of him. So yeah.
Did you ever see Observe and Report with
the Seth Rogen movie?
Yeah.
Was he in it?
love that. Yeah, he was the cop.
Oh, okay.
He was the cop that, but yeah, I a lot of people, it's a divisive word, but I love that shit. I thought I was loud. It was like basically if Taxi Driver was a comedy.
True, yeah.
It's a kind of a fucked up
think
movie.
because it got lumped in with Paul Blart, which came out at the same time. So
but
people didn't know which movie was which. Yeah,
way different movies. It's nothing like Paul Blart or whatever the fuck.
Which
it's
Paul Blart is a diehard ripoff. Like,
yeah,
how do you
Danny
do that?
McBride plays like a drug dealer, and he's
Yeah,
after a yeah, man, that movie can't get made now. But it's I laughed at it because I'm fucked up, and I thought it was hilarious. But it's very dark, black comedy.
yeah. Like I said, Ray Liotta was one of the greats. He's a legend. So yeah. So hold on, let me see what we got here. Yep.
Hey,
in the house.
Steady rocking all night long.
Need to see
and Leroy. Don't forget Leroy.
And Leroy. AKA Vanna White. I don't know. Karina.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, with Whoopi Goldberg.
That's the movie.
With Neil Patrick. No, not Neil Patrick Harris. I'm thinking of that other Whoopi Goldberg movie with Neil Patrick Harris. What's the Whoopi Goldberg movie with Doogie Howser?
How many Whoopi Goldberg movies with Doogie Howser are there? I didn't know there was more than one. I didn't know any existed.
Yeah, it was like she was raising the kid, and then there's the other Whoopi Goldberg. With those,
all I know about Whoopi Goldberg, I know Jumpin' Jack Flash, The Color Purple, and the Sister Act movies. That's it. Anything past that, I'm out.
Where she plays like she plays like the minority woman who raises the white child and teaches them about life. One of those movies.
I stayed with my aunt for a summer. She played Color Purple on VHS on repeat. So I have Color Purple memorized word for word, verbatim. Yes, don't. I'm triggered. I'm triggered. Don't do it. Anyway, let's go on to the next part. Okay, so the rest of this podcast is gonna be all Eli. This is all Eli because he watched a bunch of shit. So I'm gonna sit on the back. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. I might go play Batman Arkham Asylum while he's doing this, but I will still operate everything while he's doing it. But first thing, Eli, I think you want to start off with the Star Wars celebration. Now, first off, why is this a Star Wars celebration? What's the big rigmarole about it?
Yeah, well, every couple years, Star Wars fans get together. The more seasoned Star Wars fans, not these assholes on the internet. the more refined Star Wars fans, or basically ones with money.
Right. Disposable income. Yeah.
Yes. They get together every couple of years. This happens all over the world. Like they're like in Japan, they happen in Europe, they happen in this year it was Anaheim. Probably because isn't that where that place is? The Star Wars amusement park shit. Is that?
I guess so. I thought Star Wars fan died off with the last set. No, they would never die. No, they would never die.
Not true, man. The Force is strong with us.
If the prequels can't kill them, the sequels can't kill them.
Oh yeah. Ain't nothing the fucking sequels did that the fucking prequels never fucked up already. So, but no, Star Wars celebration happened. It happens every couple years. They, fans gather to celebrate their love of Star Wars, and stars show up. Harrison Ford showed up. Ewan McGregor and what's that kid's name again? Well, he's not a kid anymore. Hayden Christensen. Yeah, he showed up. They celebrate Star Wars, and then they promote the next line of Star Wars media that's happening. And they made a bunch
I still remember where Hayden Christensen came out one of those Star Wars celebration things, and he got a standing ovation. He looked around like, "What the fuck?
Yeah,
y'all like me now?"
All the kids that love the prequels, they like them. Versus all us old assholes who didn't like the prequels. Like, fuck that guy.
So are you saying that Star Wars are kids movies? What?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, and just like 20 years from now, fucking Rose, Tico, and Ray, they're gonna be goddesses.
Yeah, I'll bet you cheeseburger on that one. Yeah, but
20 years from now, a virtual cheeseburger. So yeah, they made a bunch of announcements. Most notably, the Andor trailer they dropped. That's the new Star Wars series featuring Cassian Andor from the Rogue One movie. I know you didn't like the Rogue One movie, Leroy, but you are the unicorn in that group.
I guess I just
you are the
wasn't my thing.
Sasquatch. Yes, you are. Yes,
Not the
you are
first
the
time I heard
Jersey
it. Pretty
Devil.
sure it won't be the last one. But yeah,
You are the Loch Ness monster when it comes to what your opinion on Rogue One. But basically, it's about Cassian Andor, that character, and it takes obviously it takes place before Rogue One since he died in that fucking movie, and it's just I guess leading up to the formings of the rebellion, and they dropped the trailer, and it just basically shows the Empire taking over, the Empire, the oppression of the Empire, all these sort of different planets and these different villages and all these different people dealing with the taking over of the galaxy, of this new fascist regime. We see people's villages being invaded. We see people being forced into these camps or working. We see this like factory that looks like a fucking iPhone factory shit, where it's all white and they're all in this assembly line putting shit together. And then we see little rumblings of resistance. People, some of these people are hiding weapons and hiding out. Basically, form the seeds of the rebellion being formed. We see a young Mon Mothma, who has been in Return of the Jedi. She's been in Rogue One, and Revenge of the Sith. I believe she was in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, in a deleted scene. She was in a deleted scene.
Many Bothans died.
Yeah,
that's not the one. Yeah, that is her.
Okay. Yeah, that's her. She's one of the leaders of the rebellion. And yeah, it just sort of showcasing how the rebellion gets started. So kind of like a more adult version of, I would say, Rebels, because we saw a lot of that in Rebels as well. But no, I look forward to it. I dug Rogue One. I'd like to see this, and I just want to see stuff expanding the universe. I don't know if Vader could show up, since he did show up in Rogue One and had probably his best scene of all time in Rogue One, or even Palpatine, who knows, but it's during that time, so it looks pretty cool. And then they announced other shows. There's another show, Watts, the guy who directed the Spider-Man movies, No Way Home and all that. He's doing a show called Skeleton Crew with Jude Law, which is set during, I think, the Mandalorian era.
So I do want everybody to know that Jude Law did not play Vision in the Avengers. I know they get them confused, but okay. Go.
No, that's not Jude Law. But basically this Skeleton Crew is about kids getting lost in the galaxy or something. That's about all we know. So it sounds like a Stranger Things kind of esque vibe going on in the Star Wars universe. They announced a bunch of other shows, animated shows, Tales of the Jedi. Of course, there's another season of Visions. What's that other one? Oh, a new Bad Batch trailer dropped. That's coming out this year. And then a bunch of comics. There's a new era in the High Republic going to start coming out, I guess, a couple hundred years before what's going on in the High Republic now. Like the High Republic, which take place, 300 years before, A New Hope. Now this new phase of High Republic books and novels and comics that are coming out is going to take place 100 years before that. So, hey, I've been reading them. I'm digging them. I'm a fan. I like Star Wars.
You think they'll tie into each other, or?
Well, Yoda's the only character that is like, is it the only thread through all that, because Yoda's like 800 years old. Yoda's an old motherfucker.
So is 800 years older, like back then? Is like he's like swole back then?
No, he's just younger. I don't think he's got white hair. I think he's blonde.
Oh man.
But whatever.
That's cool. That's cool. Okay, I'll take blonde Yoda. Okay.
Yeah, or whatever. He's just not old. He's younger, a more fit.
Okay.
His balls didn't drop yet.
Okay.
I don't know how those motherfuckers age.
Like I said, like smashing alien chicks back then. So like,
Baby Yoda's 50 years old, and he's still
right. He's still a baby. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, a lot of cool announcements happened. I thought they were starting to complain about the new black actress they casted.
In what?
In what? Uh, I don't know. Well, yeah.
Mm,
Uh, sure, probably. I'm sure some of them, somebody is.
yeah, black actress.
uh,
Somebody's gonna flip out. So yeah.
you know. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it all. I'm a sucker for this. I'm a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. The only time I bitch about it is when other people bitch. You know, I'll get in the whole a bitch if Star Wars bitch session. I'll get in on it. So I can bitch too. I just prefer not to. So so yeah, cool. Yeah, should we segue into?
Yeah, well, let's just get the people what they want. Okay, so let's even though there's two shows you saw, let's start off with the first one. I don't know which one is bigger this week. The Twitter is that's pretty much all they're all on, but we'll kind of just stay on topic with that. So I'll kind of let you go on with that. Let's see what's going on.
Well, did you watch this?
Oh, I did not.
You didn't watch Obi-Wan?
I didn't watch Obi-Wan. I'll tell you why. First off, it dropped on a Friday. How the fuck you gonna drop on a Friday? Didn't give me enough time because I was busy this week, so I didn't have enough time to do stuff. And plus, it's just that. Well, I'll put it like this: I was binge watching another show, Broad City. It was about these. Yeah, it was about these.
No, I did. I watched it when it came on. That show's great.
Never saw it. It was on Hulu. I just saw it. I was like, okay, 5 seasons. For those that don't know what it is, it's a sitcom about 2 Jewish chicks in New York just doing shit. And they were like really
funny
really
as hell. Watching shit. It's fucking hilarious.
Raunchy as hell. That's about it. So I got stuck with it, and I'm like, I'm on season 5 right now, so I get a chance. So I'm just hold off on anything else until then. So, but spoil it for me. I don't care. Go for it. Do what you want.
Okay.
Don't hold back.
Okay, so Obi-Wan, the show Leroy
I'll be honest with people have already been spoiling for me anyway. So there's nothing you can say that I haven't already heard. So yeah. Broad City is amazing. It's a great show. Yeah. So
did you get to that part yet?
The Schlong song? I did get to that. I think that was
the shit song.
The shit song. Well, that was all together. The Schlong song. He was about to anyway.
Okay, so Obi-Wan. Yes, the Obi-Wan show finally came out. They dropped the first 2 episodes. It takes place 10 years after the Clone Wars.
10 years, not 20 years. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, 10 years. And Obi-Wan is hiding out like a bitch. Not doing shit, letting Jedi die like a punk, just being a total bitch like Luke was on Last Jedi. Problem is, no one gives a shit that Obi-Wan was acting like a bitch, but when Luke did it in The Last Jedi, everyone got sand in their twat. So,
well, to be fair, people wanted to see Luke go God mode. Nobody really wants to see Obi-Wan go God mode.
And that just proves my point that you don't really give a shit. You just want to see Luke kick ass. And then Mandalorian came out, and you got to see that. So that's why everyone loves Mandalorian. Not because of the Mandalorian or Boba Fett or any of that shit, because Luke kicked ass.
And the Mandalorian was there to see him kick ass. Like,
yeah,
Baby Yoda, you see that shit?
Yeah. But no, Obi-Wan, he's basically in hiding. The Grand Inquisitors, which are basically the Dark Jedi that Vader and Palpatine hired to hunt down the escaped Jedi from Order 66. They're going around the galaxy, hunting them down. And Obi-Wan's chilling out on Tatooine and hiding out. And then he gets called back into action by Bail Organa because, spoilers, Leroy.
Leia's in it. I already know.
Leia's in it. Little baby Leia.
Yeah, that's the thing. Any like shit like this, if you don't watch it the day of, it's gonna get spoiled for you. So
yeah,
I said, there's nothing you can say that hadn't already been spoiled for me.
Hey, Pablo from was it Argentina? That's what it says. Yeah, Argentina.
Let's see. Welcome to
the
Pablo.
Show.
Pablo, what time is it over there? Just for shits and giggles.
It might be not. They're just below us, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I think we're in the same time zone.
They might be okay, or pretty close.
Well, appreciate you staying up this late to check us out, but yeah.
Yeah. So he gets called back into action because He's a couple.
Oh shit!
He's later. He's a couple hours.
Yeah,
So he's like Eastern time.
yeah. He's about Eastern time. Okay.
Yeah. So he's Obi-Wan gets called back into action because Leia is kidnapped. And we find out why. She's kidnapped because one of the Grand Inquisitors. Oh, is that who they're talking about, Jake? The black Inquisitor lady, the third sister or fourth sister.
Wait, they getting pissed off at a villain? Is that what we are now?
Yeah, I guess she
exists. She's there. So
maybe well, I guess she wasn't painted purple, so now they're pissed.
Green or blue or some shit, you know.
Yeah, she's just a black Jedi. What the fuck?
What?
So yeah, she's after Obi-Wan. That's what he's hearing on YouTube. He says, "Yeah, I'm sure,
she's just a black bad guy, and people are pissed about that
with the lightsaber, just like Mace Windu. Only she's a villain. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, people always bitch about some shit.
People are weird, man. I feel like we're the only non-weird YouTubers or content creators out there, you know. But I'm pretty sure people think we're just as weird too. But I don't know.
Cool.
That's just me.
She's fucking ruthless, man. I won't spoil that. I'll let you enjoy the finer details. But she's pretty ill. This Jedi Inquisitor. Yeah, okay. She's pretty ill. She's like basically like Anakin, kind of like a loose cannon. You know, the other Inquisitor's like, what the fuck, man? Do you have to do that? You know what I mean?
Like choking people and shit. Okay.
Yeah. So she's after Obi-Wan, and I theorize, of course, his theories don't mean shit. But she's probably pissed off at the Jedi for some reason. I'm sure there's she's probably a lot of the. That's the thing. The Inquisitors, they were on the Rebel show. They basically have been established that a lot of the Inquisitors used to be Jedi. And when Order 66 happened, they said, "Oh, fuck it. You know, we're no longer Jedi. We'll work for you." And a lot of them became disillusioned with the Jedi. I think one of the Grand Inquisitors, his backstory is he used to be on the Council, the Jedi Council. And then I think it was Ahsoka. When they kicked out Ahsoka, he was like, "What the fuck, you guys? You guys suck." You know, so he kind of got, you know, the Jedi are just as corrupt as any other. By that time in the storyline, by the time the Clone Wars were going on, the Jedi had become the very thing that they swore not. You know, they were a religious order that, you know, had ties to the government, acting like cops, and then became generals in a war. So they were all over the place. So
I mean, that's the thing. Palpatine, all the shit Palpatine said to Anakin in the third movie was true. The Jedi were going to take over the government. They were going to control everything. Yeah. Because they thought it was in their best interest, but still.
Like the Vatican. I mean, you get that's what fascinates. Like the Jedi Order is like kind of like the Vatican at that point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Religious sector, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's after Obi-Wan for some reason, and she has Leia kidnapped. And this basically, you know, he's reluctant. Obi-Wan is reluctant at first. He doesn't want to go back to, you know, to fighting and shit, you know. You know, he just wants to chill out and on Tatooine and not be involved. But then he gets convinced to go back and to fight and to go rescue Leia. And so that's basically where at episode 2. But surprisingly, I hear a lot of people bitching about the little girl who plays Leia. I loved her. I thought she was great. She talks a lot of shit. She's very precocious and just like, you know, like Arnold from Different Strokes and shit, just fucking always got some shit to say, you know, little wise ass. And that's what I like.
And to be fair, they don't know that's Vader's daughter, right?
No, they don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I won't spoil that. I'll let the finer details, you know, I'll let you enjoy the finer details.
Oh yeah, straight from the titty. That was my favorite part of The Last Jedi.
So yeah, I mean, it was cool. I really liked it. I really dug on it. You know, there's a lot of Easter eggs. We saw like 4LOM, one of the battle bounty hunters you saw in Empire with Zucus, the bug insect alien bounty hunter. He's in that lineup on Empire Strikes Back when with Boba Fett and IG-88 and all those guys. He makes an appearance. And it's just cool. It's just cool, you know, revisiting this place, revisiting the Star Wars
Is it
universe.
the Bell Organa actor Jimmy Smits? Did he
Yep,
show
he's
up?
in it.
It
He's
was
there.
okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I dug on it. I really thought it was cool. So I give it a thumbs up. Can't wait till next week. So maybe next week you can give your 2 cents.
I'll be caught up in it. I'll be finished with Broad City by then. So yeah. All right. So anything else on that? We moving on to the next one.
Check it out.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next one because this is another big thing. This is nuts. This is just as big, if not bigger, than what's going on with Obi-Wan. Like I said, we got Stranger Things season 4, volume 1 dropped on Netflix. So they didn't drop the whole thing like they normally do. It's like half of
just
it.
Just the first 7 episodes. Yes.
First 7. That's normally a whole season. How many episodes gonna be?
I guess and then they're gonna finish up July 1st. We got a month to wait. So it was like we saw like a season, like a mid-season finale, kind of like we got to wait till July 1st, which is like a month away.
Not too bad. It's not like a whole year or 6 months or nothing. Yeah.
No. Wait, Dan, where is he?
Just found all this time to knock these shows out. Dedicated.
It was a busy week, man. It was a busy week.
Dedicated. That's all I can say.
I don't even remember what happened to I read my comics too, and I can't remember shit. But yeah, so Stranger Things 4 dropped this week. I've been stoked for it. I love the show. My kid actually came over. My kid moved out like last year. So he's got his own place now. But he actually came over the other night and said, "Yeah, let's watch Stranger." So we watched the first episode together because that was our thing. You know, man, he really liked the show.
And the show been around so long, I guess that means bonding time. Yeah.
Yeah. So he came over, we watched the first episode together. And yeah, I've been stoked for this. I love this show. It's like, you know, it's everything that I grew up on. I'm a child of the 80s. I was basically the prime age of when this takes place. The ages of these kids are in the show. That's how old I was back then. And, you know, so I really dug on it. It celebrates everything I grew up on, you know, the horror movies, the sci-fi, the comic books, you know, Stephen King movies, John Carpenter, the 80s music and shit. I wasn't into Dungeons and Dragons. I never got into that. I tried to, but yeah, they're like D&D players and shit. They're like nerds, you know, they're into AV Club, which I was too. Like, holy shit, they're hitting a lot of nerves.
It sounds like the showrunners were also 80s kids also.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I mean, I know you've never watched it, but I'll give you a quick rundown. Is basically these kids in Hawkins, Indiana. They basically discover that the government has been secretly working on a doorway to another dimension that the kids refer to as the Upside Down, like a dark dimension. In this dark dimension, there's monsters and demons and psychic entities and shit. And the government has also been working on these psychic kids, you know, like mutants or metahumans, you know. And one of these kids named 11, she's a little girl. She ends up escaping the laboratory and ends up joining up with the kids, and they fight these monsters. They uncover the government cover-ups and all that, the conspiracies. That's what the show is, you know. So
that's the Bobby Brown chick, right?
Yeah, she was in Godzilla and Godzilla.
And one of those Sherlock Holmes movies with Henry Cavill, I think. Yeah.
Was she okay?
Yeah, that's all I know from her.
But yeah, that's what we spend. You know, every season there's a new threat. The doorway to the dimension gets open, another monster pops out, and these kids got to fight these creatures. And season 3, basically, it was kind of implied. We didn't know that it was going to be renewed just yet, but they kind of like left it ambiguous. Like that could have been the final season because some of the kids moved away. They moved to California, and so there was like this big send off. Hopper, the cop, was supposedly dead, but we knew that was bullshit. So it could have ended in season 3, but it got renewed. So I think we got 2 more seasons. I think after season 5, it's done. So we open here
I mean, one
Like
thing, those kids are getting old as hell.
yeah,
So
I mean they look like they're in their 40s already. I mean,
yeah, unless they make the next season about their kids, I guess. I don't know.
And so we get to this season, all the kids, like the kids are still, some of the kids are still in Indiana, and then the family that moved to California, and then Hopper is, volume 2 is only 2 episodes. Is it?
2 episodes? Really?
Well, these
Okay.
episodes are long too, man, because like every episode this season is like an hour and a half. It's like long, So I broke it up over
movies,
4
okay.
days. Yeah. It was like watching a couple of movies. I watched like 2 episodes one day, another 2 the next. It took me like 4 days or 3 days. I finished the last episode today. Oi, AG member. Oi.
Oi. Oh, that's you. Oh yeah, AG. What up, AG? You got to be from England, Britain, Europe, somewhere. Okay.
Just a punk rocker. Oi. But anyways, so the season picks up. Like I said, everybody's scattered all over the place. Some kids are in California, the other kids are in Indiana, but then another creature starts to make its presence in Indiana. And excuse me. And it resembles, like, it's like a cross between Freddy Krueger and Pinhead from Hellraiser. Episode 8 is an hour and a half.
The fuck?
2.5. Wow.
Yeah, those are movies.
Those are movies, yeah. So yeah, so it starts murdering people around the town again. This, of course, because the kids have dealt with this shit before, they're on it and they start investigating, doing their thing that they always do. Meanwhile, what's going on in Cali, they start getting dragged into stuff. So everybody's sort of scattered, and by the end of this part 1 of these first 7 episodes, I think they're all starting to make their way back to Indiana. Elle, the girl with the powers, she lost her powers last season, but she got re-kidnapped. I won't say kidnapped, but basically the government got a hold of her again, and she's trying to relearn her powers. So she's back at the lab. And we get a lot of history with her. We're getting a lot of like origin stories of explaining a lot of how things were made. Some of these origin stories of the monsters and shit. We're getting a lot of that. It reminds me of like Endgame and Infinity War, how it ties the whole series together. We're seeing stuff from season 1, season 2, season 3, all sort of being relevant, in this season. So it's really cool how it's all coming together again. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. There were a few like lulls for me because, like I said, everybody's so all over the place. Everybody's scattered. I enjoy it when all the kids are together doing their thing, but they're all separated. Hopper, who's in Russia trying to escape prison, I really didn't give a shit because I feel like that's dragging too long.
Right. So he's still stuck over there?
Yeah. So we know he's gonna escape. It's just taking too damn long. But yeah, I mean, I really got into it. I just like this world. I like these characters, and everybody's growing. We're seeing the growth of the characters. They're older now. They're in high school now, whereas before they were in middle school. But they're growing
because there was like a long gap between season 3 and season 4, where all of them hit puberty and shit. So
yeah, they're Lucas. He's one of my favorite characters. He's like trying to be popular. He's trying to fit in with the jocks, and and the other kids are still nerds. They're still playing D&D. What about I forgot. Let's see. Is this? And then there's this guy. Let me get the image up. Nope, not that. Not that. Here we go. So this guy, he's the breakout character. Did you see that? You don't see that.
Nothing happened.
Okay.
Am I supposed to imagine it?
I'll just do it manually.
Okay.
So the breakout character in this season is the metalhead. His name is Eddie. And he is a D&D nerd. He plays Dungeons and Dragons. He's into metal. He plays guitar. And he seems to be the fan favorite of this season. I see everybody just crushing on this kid. Like, oh my God, he's so hot. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Me being a metalhead from this time, is a bunch of bullshit. Because we weren't getting that love back then.
Right.
Yeah, him almost getting with the hot cheerleader, that's bullshit. So I call bullshit on that.
Well, like I said, it's 80s kids writing this story. It's almost like a fever dream of them. Oh, I was the metalhead kid. Let's rewrite this. Like with Tarantino.
Yeah, a kid listening to heavy metal, playing D&D, getting a hot cheerleader. Shit.
The Upside Down, the Devil World, I can believe that. This shit, no.
But yes, this season gets into the whole satanic panic thing that was going on back in the 80s. For those who don't know, like Geraldo did a whole special on it, 2020 news, like there's devil worshippers.
Well, you play the records backwards.
Backwards messages on.
And they're like weird shit, like you play Pat Boone backwards, and it's like, kill your grandmother, some shit,
It was people were kind of freaking out. That was me. That was me too. I came home with an AC/DC shirt on. AC/DC, like total butt rock. My dad acted like I was on crack. like I was ruining my life, But yeah, it was real back then. Metalheads were looked down upon. They were, if you listened to heavy metal, you were considered a dirtbag, a scumbag. You were a lesser life form. You were a nuts. You were the dregs of society. I did do all that in high school. Yes, I totally had the jean jacket with all the patches, and my Iron Maiden patch on the back. I had all that. My Anthrax, on patch on the side. I had the long hair. I still got the long hair. But back then metal was looked down upon, and they really touch on that this season because this kid gets accused of murder. And the whole town's after him. They all think he's a devil worshiper. They all think he's got these secret satanic powers and shit because he plays Dungeons and Dragons and listens to heavy metal. So, which was a thing back then. They thought Dungeons and Dragons. They thought heavy metal. They thought rap. They thought Prince. They thought Prince was satanic. The moral majority, that was this conservative religious right-wing group that was basically attacking
any forms of entertainment.
All the cool shit.
Before this, it was comics. Then it was rap. Then it was Eminem. Then it was video games. Now it's TikTok or whatever the hell it is now. So Fortnite.
So I really dug on the show. Like I said, it's just kids, fighting monsters, fighting the government, being spies, doing in dangerous situations because this was the 80s. We there were no parental guide. Our parents were never around.
Right.
We were always home alone, getting into all this shit.
We went outside. Kids in the 80s went outside
all day, as long as we were back by dark. And sometimes we even
when the street lights come on.
Dark.
Right.
That's just, we had no parental guidance. We had no babysitters. I was a babysitter at 8 years old. I was 8 years old babysitting everybody else. We were left home alone all the time, and that's, and kids just went missing. Because we didn't have Amber Alerts or the internet, or kids would go. And that's the first season. The first season of Stranger Things, Will goes missing. And they don't know he's missing for like 3 days. Oh, he's at Mike's house. Oh no, he's not here. I thought, he must have went to school then. Oh, he never came home from school. They don't find out he's missing for like 2 days. And that, because that's just how it was back then. Kids were just always left on their own. That's why 80s babies are kind of fucked up. We're from the suck it up generation. If you cried, you were a pussy. You didn't talk about your feelings. We didn't have therapy.
Just walk it off. That was the cure for everything.
I broke my arm. Don't be a pussy. Get up. Basically, that's what we did. So that's what I enjoy about the show. It really touches upon that generation. that generation, and touches upon all the stuff, all my favorite things that I grew up on. So yeah, I really enjoyed, had a lot of fun watching it again, revisiting this world again. When I had COVID a few weeks ago, I binge watched all seasons because I had nothing to do. So I was all caught up. And yeah, I really thought it was cool. Like I said, it's not perfect. It was a little jumbled at situations, and I'm waiting for Will. I want Will to do something because Will was in the Upside Down, and then he got possessed by the Mind Flayer. I'm getting into some shit you don't know what I'm talking about, but basically, I want him to get some powers, because he really doesn't have anything to do anymore. If he could, because he had a psychic connection to the Mind Flayer, it'd be cool if he could like take over monsters or control monsters and some shit. Become
Right.
like they all start getting powers or some shit like that. That would be cool. Then it would be like the X-Men, But other than that, I really thought it was cool. I had a good time. Can't wait for part 2.
So for the last 2 shows that Eli just reviewed, he recommended both. So there you go. Everything we reviewed on this show, we recommended. Just this episode. Anything else though. So all right, so let's move on to the next one because this one I want to talk about. I've been waiting to talk about this one when I saw this shit. And I know you want to talk about it. I know you guys have stuff to talk about, but I think we're going to talk about 2 different things on this topic. But we're going to talk about it. The Winnie the Pooh horror movie, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. First images have been released online. At first I thought it was like a joke. I thought it was just like some internet shit. And then I started reading up and I was like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, this is real. Uh-oh. Okay. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. So Eli, what did you think about? Let me see if I can pull up some of those pictures for those that don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's the horror movie with your favorite childhood characters turn evil and start killing people.
Yeah. So yeah, that's some real pictures.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, apparently they're hunting. It's big kitty chicks. They're going after them. I think they eat one of the
Eeyore or something.
Yeah, I think they eat him or something. Yeah. So, why is this a thing? Why is everything got to be adult now? Why, like making a R-rated Velma cartoon? Like, why are they doing this shit? But
because
before we get to it,
these days don't give a shit about. The kids don't care about Winnie the Pooh now.
They don't care about Winnie the Pooh, but I mean, we cared about Winnie the Pooh. All you got, what happened to this? Like, Winnie the Pooh used to be a euphemism for not wearing underwear, or not wearing pants, just walking around, just freeballing it. But now,
I didn't watch it yet, but you were talking about the Chip and Dale shit and how it had like sort of adult situations and adult references that you thought was hilarious. I mean, yeah, because like, would you watch a total foofy kids version of Winnie the Pooh now?
No, I wouldn't. But at the same time, I would hoping a Winnie the Pooh foofy version wouldn't be made for me. Like, okay, we watched Winnie the Pooh as kids. Make some more kid shit as Winnie the Pooh. Maybe to catch on, maybe it won't. But Winnie the Pooh horror movie? Now, let me explain why. Well, first, how this movie exists. I actually did some digging on this to find out why it exists. So, for those that don't know, Winnie the Pooh was created back in 1921. So 100 years ago, 101 years ago, the license of it. Yeah. So even though it was a Disney movie back then, it wasn't created by Disney. Disney just owned the license for it. Just made a movie of it. So 100 years ago, it was made. The licensing of it ended this year. So now Winnie the Pooh is free domain. So like this, that's how this exists. So that means anybody can make a Winnie the Pooh anything. Winnie the Pooh movie, video game, TV show. I'm talking about anybody. Me, you, whatever. Anybody can do anything legally. Sell it. Do whatever you want to, and nobody can stop you. That's what public domain means. So they can't make it exactly like Disney do it because Disney owned the rights to that Winnie the Pooh. But as long as it's from the original source material back in 1921, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Porno, whatever you want to do, it's there, So, and that's my thing, Eli. The more because the entertainment we're into so much, a lot of it is about to go into public domain, like Batman and Superman and all stuff like that. We're gonna start getting shit like that legally, and there's nothing DC will able to do about it because I think it's like about 10 years away from both Batman and Superman going public domain. I think James Bond in Europe is public domain. As long as you take from the actual source material, not for the movies. So It's scary. That's scary more than anything else. Not because the movie is scary, because of what it implicates is scary. So that's why I'm horrified.
I don't know. I don't know how to work my computer. Sorry. I'm trying to. I'll show you. The reason why I'm not surprised about this, because they have been making. Crap. Let's see. Chrome tab. Is it Chrome tab? That one? All right. Here we go. Look, I'm learning how to use this program.
There you go.
Tutorial. A couple years ago, they made the banana splits. I don't know if you remember banana splits. I barely remember banana splits from, I think it was in the 70s. It was kind of like a Muppets or like Fraggle Rock, you know, and it was like these big, giant, furry puppet guys that ran around an amusement park getting into wacky hijinks. It was a kid's show. Anyways, they made a movie that came out a couple years ago, and they turned it into a horror movie.
Wow.
And it's pretty solid. I seen it. I thought it was pretty cool. Yes, these big, giant, furry, you know, animals run around axing people to death. It's a slasher movie. And, you know, they get stuck in an amusement park. It's a pretty solid horror flick. So when I heard about this Winnie the Pooh, I was like, oh, just like the banana splits. And then that Nicolas Cage movie, the Willy Wonka or Willy. So I didn't think that was that good. It was kind of, it was all right. It was the same thing. It was like a Five Nights at Freddy with Nicolas Cage in it. But yeah, same sort of deal. There's these furry, like a Chuck E. Cheese animals come to life and they start murdering people. And Willy's Wonderland, I think that's what it was called with Nicolas Cage. So yeah, I think that's what this is sort of falling into, taking these old, you know, kids shows and turning them into horror flicks. You know, it seems to be like a trend that's starting to catch on, that people seem to get into. So who knows what else? Maybe they will do Fraggle Rock as a horror movie.
When will it end? They just want to take every childhood thing and just make it weird.
Great Space Coaster and
yeah. So I guess
Electric Company and Elmo.
I guess it's where we're going to. So but that's why I want to talk about that Winnie the Pooh thing, because it was just disturbing on what it implies, what it could mean in the future.
Blood.
Oh, did you ever see the Saturday Night Live skit Sesame Street?
No.
So they did a remake of it like Joker, you know.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, like Elmo was like a prostitute or some shit. Yeah. Or like
what was that Chappelle Show skit where it was like a Sesame Street and the one was a crackhead?
Right. So
he had like coming. A needle in his head, a needle sticking out of it.
Right. Oh man. All right. So like I said, let's go to the next part of the podcast. Okay, let's jump into it. Like I said, this is Comic Book Bullies, where we talk about the comic books. We're gonna jump into it. And Eli, I know you've been going, but I'm gonna let you go first. Let's see. I know you've been talking.
Let me take a swig. Let me get the images up. What should I do first? Should I do the Shadow War? You know what? I don't remember what even happened, man.
Okay. How many do you remember? Do you at least remember how many Shadow War books there were?
There was like 2 that released this week. I think part 6 and 7.
Okay.
And I don't remember which like issues, like if it was a Robin or a Deathstroke or a Batman. I don't know. You know, like the tie-ins, you know what I mean? When I read it, basically it was all action shit. Talia kills Deathstroke. Like the real Deathstroke.
Oh, she kills him. Okay.
Yeah, but the imposter turns out to be somebody from Geoforce, which I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Hold on.
Geoforce?
Is it Geoforce? Because Geoforce is a guy. He's a dude.
Okay, it was that guy. He looked like he kind of looked like
Cyclops, kind of Havoc. He looks X-Mini.
Yeah, he kind of looks like that. Anyway, that's who's been impersonating the Deathstroke and who killed Ra's al Ghul.
That seems so weird.
Random, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, at least it ain't Jason Todd.
Right. But Geoforce, okay.
So that's really all I remember. There's a lot of action. Like, I'm sorry, because like between all the shows that I watched and then the comic books, I'm like running of like it's all kind of melding together now. But I just remember a lot of action. Deathstroke dies, and then Geoforce is the Deathstroke impersonator, and so that's the Shadow War moment of the week. So that's all I got, man. I think there's like one more issue or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if Deathstroke's dead. What are they gonna do about his solo book? But they'll figure it out.
I'm sure they'll fucking raise him or some shit.
He'll show up at the end of this arc, you know.
Yeah, and just keep going.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Or maybe it respawn become new. Maybe they get a new Deathstroke. I don't know. You know, who knows? We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. So next book we're gonna do. Let's do something good. We've been following this book. We're gonna stick with it. We're gonna do Hulk #7. This is that whole Thor versus Hulk or Hulk versus Thor run that's going on right now, and now stuff is starting
or whatever.
Yes, stuff is starting to ramp up. Oh yeah, that's what I meant to ask you. Okay, in that Shadow War thing you saw, okay, did this guy show up? I'm trying to see what guy. Yeah, did that guy show up?
Who's that now?
Okay, that's Connor Hawk. Let me explain who Connor Hawk is. Connor Hawk is Oliver Queen's son, Green Arrow.
Okay, I don't remember.
He didn't show up. Okay. Yeah, I figured you would recognize that. The reason I'm showing that picture is because you know, it's what, like Asian Pacific Islanders month or whatever.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
So Damian Wayne is one of the representatives of that. People forget that his whole side of the family is there, not the Batman side, but the Telugu side. They're all Middle Eastern.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, this is who it is at the end. He rips off the Deathstroke outfit.
That is Geoforce. Let me blow you up. Leave it there. Let me see. That's Geoforce. He got the GF on his goofy looking costume on there. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's Geoforce. Okay. I guess.
Yeah. WTF.
Yeah. Okay. That's Anyway, we're gonna talk about Hulk #7. We're just gonna jump into it. Let's see where that book is. Last we left off, Tony had hacked into the Celestial that's in Avengers Mansion, turned it into a Hulk Buster, and flew into space to kill Hulk. So that's where we are right now. Let's see if I can get there. So if I can blow this up, and they're fighting in space on something called the Black Hand of God, which is like this intergalactic coliseum where people just go there, just handle their slugfest, you know, and people bet on it. So yeah, that's what's going on. So let's get us out of there. Boom. So basically, just jump into it, see what's going on. What's going on is that Tony's there fucking up shit. You see Tony right there in a Celestial that he has turned into a Hulk Buster, shooting the shit out of Banner. You think it would kill him, but it's not. You know, blast him and everything. And as far as everybody that was in the Black Hand of God, the Bifrost Bridge exited everybody out of there. They, with their earnings, they stopped doing everything. They just left. Even the Watcher left. The Watcher isn't even watching this shit. He left. So the only person there watching it is Thor. And he's just watching. He's like, And Tony is just steady, like blasting Hulk. And it's hurting him, but it's not killing him, even though he's getting shot by a god. It's like, why the hell isn't he down? There's supposed to be enough power to kill the Hulk at least. And it ain't doing anything. And they're saying not only is he, and matter of fact, the Celestial Hulk Buster that Tony made was designed to drain Gamma, but instead Hulk is actually gaining Gamma, and they don't understand how that's happening, you know. So that's when Tony's just like, fuck it, he won't fall, and Hulk is just actually getting stronger the more he shoots at him. So then now it's kind of hard to understand what happened here, but I think what happened is that Tony got hit by Mjolnir. I think Mjolnir was thrown at him, you know. And he got so fucked up, like the Celestial got knocked back. He was like, damn, what the hell hit me that hard? I didn't know Hulk was that strong. And then he looks up, somebody walked through it. He was like, wait a minute. And it's Thor. And Thor's like, Tony, get the hell out of here. And he's like, Thor, why the hell did you hit me with the hammer? He's like, oh, I didn't mean to hit you. The hammer is controlled on its own, and it wanted to hit you. And he's like, oh, your hammer's controlled again? Another evil hammer? Tony, Thor, we've been through this too many times, you know. And that's when Odin, who's speaking through Mjolnir, is like, is that Tony? Let me talk to him. Let me tell him what's going on. Hulk is out of control. We need to stop him. And Thor's just like, no, get the hell out of here, Tony. You don't know what's going on. Banner isn't the same Banner. And that's when Hulk finally wakes up, smashes the shit out of him. And Tony's like, well, that's look like the same Banner to me. You know, so he gets up and they start making, and Banner is like screaming the whole time, telling him, everybody chill out, but nobody can hear him because he's not in the driver's seat. Like literally, he's not in the driver's seat of Spaceship Hulk. So Celestial Hulk just smacking the shit out of him. just going to work on him, and then but it not stopping Hulk. Hulk is actually getting stronger, and he actually jumps through Hulk's blast. I mean, the Celestial's blast and the armors and rockets and shit like that. And Odin just flies away from Thor. He's like, let me just go, And Hulk is about to fuck up the Celestial, and then Mjolnir just waves in front of Hulk, like right in front of arm's length. It's too tempting for Hulk. He's like, Hulk, hammer. And he tries to reach for the hammer, grabs it, and boom, drops to the ground because he's not worthy. Meanwhile, Odin is like, people don't know that one of Hulk's powers is that he can see ghosts. So he sees Odin, even though Odin is a ghost, and he's like putting Mjolnir on top of him so he can't move. But this time, put it on his chest, so he really can't move this time. He ain't put in his abdomen where he can like go through it. It's on his chest, So he's there. But the thing is, since he can't move, and he has heat vision now. Hulk has heat vision. And blast the shit out of Celestial. So, and even Tony, like, when the fuck did he get eye lasers? And that's when Thor's like, this shit is going too far now. So, and the thing is, Hulk is getting more and more pissed because he's stuck. He can't move. He's getting pissed. And, the more pissed he gets, the more gamma he irradiates. And he's irradiating so much gamma. It's pretty much like if he was in a city, he would have leveled that city by now just from his gamma radiation, And yeah, so Thor is trying to get Mjolnir back because Odin thinking he can stop him. And that's when Hulk explodes. Like really explode. He destroys the Black Hand of God. It's gone. Like, so if anybody, so it's not even a gamma bomb, it's a gamma nuke. Everything's wiped away, just from that, that's when Tony walks out of Celestial's fucked. It's done. But it is going into self-repair mode, but as of now, it's done. So he gets out and he puts on his suit and stuff like that so he can breathe in space. He's like, what the hell happened? So apparently his AI, which is called Boss, tells him that it wasn't a gamma bomb that went off. It was a gamma nuke that went off. There's like 1,000 gamma bombs went off. He was like, well, what happened if a regular person was in the middle of that gamma bomb? Like Bruce Banner was when the bomb went off. He was like, if a regular person was in that bomb, they would have been atomized. They would have turned to dust. Okay. But what if something stronger than a human was in the middle of that gamma bomb? They were like, well, that's different. Like, what if a god was in the middle of the gamma bomb? So now it's Thor turned into a Hulk. And he's like, Thor smash.
Oh, shit.
To be continued. So, yeah. So that's the story right now. So you got Thor as a Hulk doing this shit. I'm like, okay, it's getting wild as fuck now. We still got 2 more issues go. I don't know where you're going to go for this, but you got Thor Hulk. We still don't even know what happened to Hulk. Is he dead? Pretty sure he's not dead. I'm pretty sure he's going to come back also. But yeah, but Tony has no Iron Man. I'm pretty sure he's got an Iron Man suit in his ass somewhere that he's got. But I don't know what it's going to do with a Thor Hulk,
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So
I thought it was great.
I love the ending. That was that stinger ending. So I got to read the next issue, see what happened with that. So yeah.
It's like total campy, schlocky.
It's a summer blockbuster. That's
a summer blockbuster. It's Michael
Bay. You're not going to write a think piece on this. The thinkings of man. No, that ain't that. It's just 2 dudes, now 3 dudes beating the shit out of each other.
It's Fast and Furious in space. It's fun.
Yeah, and that's like, well, Fast and Furious is in space now. So.
Well, it's just dumb fun, Yeah. So yeah. I thought
Johnny Cage doing what Johnny Cage does. So yeah.
What else did I got? What else did I read? Something is killing the children.
Okay.
I read Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Then that, and then the 2 Shadow War books. Oh, that's right. There were 1. I'll do something that's killing the children.
Okay.
Number 23. This is Giant James Tiny in the Forts horror book that I've been into from the get-go. Basically, monsters feed on people and mostly kids. And there's a secret society called the House of Slaughter that sends out agents to go slaughter and hunt these monsters. And we're dealing with Erica. There's a new monster in a new town that's reared its ugly head. And she shows up. Of course, the town people are like, who the fuck are you? And all that shit. But we also find out that Erica has left the House of Slaughter. She's an old rogue agent. She went rogue. And the House of Slaughter are now sending out agents after to kill her because they don't want to be known. They want to keep the society secret, and they want the word getting out about that there's monsters and Titans watch.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're kind of sending out agents to go. She's been targeted for termination, and they send out agents after her. So that's about where this book ends right now, and it's just another cool story that I'm into. Yeah, very dark, very gory. It's a horror book. It does. I mean, this week was kind of a tragedy. So when I was reading this week, I felt a little conflicted and felt a little, what was the word? But I just felt, it kind of reminded me of what's going on in the world and the tragedy that happened this week and kids being put into, and the week before that, kids, violent things happening to kids and
nothing's happening about it. Nobody's doing anything
about it. The powers that be that are really failing to protect them. And so that's really hit home for me while I was reading this week. It really reminded me what's happening in the world and maybe help me cope with what's happening in the world right now. So there you go. Art helps us deal with shit that's going on in the real world.
Even comics.
Even comic books.
I know people just want comics to just be dudes in tights punching each other, but yes, sometimes they can say something. Sometimes it's okay for them to say something,
Yeah. So yeah, another 4 out of 5. I'm really digging this story. This is going to be turned into a movie or a TV series or something. It's been bought by somebody, and they're turning this into a series or a movie. So
I'm scared of a TV series because some of these TV series have been hit or miss. Movies they seem to put them because I don't want another Why the Last Man or it was another DMZ or shit like that. Yeah, it was another shitty one that just came out also, like a really good book that was a shitty show, but I can't remember. But yeah, and he's on premiere show. We're not talking about CW shit. We're talking about premiere shows. But anyway, next on me. What do I got? I think I'm going to do. Let's flip a coin. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, we didn't talk about the Love and Thunder trailer, right?
No.
But I'm gonna do you one better. There's an Avengers book this week written by Jason Aaron that is focused only on Jane Foster. Oh, wrong book.
Just in time for the movie, huh?
Just in time for the movie. What a coincidence. I'm sure they didn't plan it. I'm pretty sure it's just a coincidence,
Well, they should do that shit, make people care about comic books.
Right.
They don't, but they will.
Or if people want to know what the hell is going on with this Jane Foster thing, what is it? Well, now they know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So let's talk about this. So this is Avengers 56. Oh shit, let's go to it. Avengers 56. Add to stream. Let's go here. Yeah, so the book is, like I said, it's actually Jane Foster as the Mighty Thor and Valkyrie. How does this happen? We'll explain it in a second. I'll actually explain it while in the middle of the book. Basically, I'll explain it right now. Okay, so the Legion of, not the Legion of Doom, that's DC. The Masters of Evil? Mephisto. Mephisto's doing this bullshit. Mephisto is going around.
Wrecking crew.
Yeah, it's somebody.
Sinister Six.
Right. Hey, Brotherhood of You meeting somebody. Somebody's doing some shit. Yeah.
Hellfire Club.
Right. I know it's somebody evil, but anyway, Mephisto has collected all the Mephistos of the multiverse, and they call themselves the Council of Reds, and they've been going around collecting all the evil supervillains to fuck up everybody. So the Avengers are going around collecting all the Avengers from the older multiverses and saving everybody. So that's why you got Thor and Valkyrie in the same book, and explains how they're doing. So let's just jump into it, see what we got. Okay. So the book starts off with that horse Pegasus thing. Because Jane keeps having this dream about Jane. So she's having this, dream about a horse with wings, So where is Jane right now? So Jane Foster, our Jane Foster, is waking up as just a housewife. And she's like in a separate bed with Thor, like Lucille Ball and Ricky Ricardo back in I Love Lucy. So they two separate beds, and she wakes up and then she's next to Thor, but they're not in the same bed, of course, like that. So this is supposed to be like her dream to be married to Thor. She always wanted to just be married to Thor, and that's it. So she goes to sleep, and that's it. And basically they live in this house outside of the main city of Asgard, the Golden Realm, where basically Odin gave her a house because he well, so I know I can't get rid of you. I'm gonna give you a house so y'all just live. So her job is to just be Thor's housewife. Thor goes off on adventures, go do shit, and she just sits there and she takes care of pigs and paints. And meanwhile, the pigs got like this evil look to them. But we'll find out about the three little piggies later on. And she just draws, but she always keeps drawing pictures of, Valkyrie. She's drawing pictures of her with wings holding Mjolnir. And she's just like, well, that can't be right. That's not. And she's fighting the urge to like Valkyrie out, have those Hawk Girl wings pop out, shit like that. But that's every day she does. She just draw Valkyrie wings and all days like that, even though she know that's not her. Her life is a housewife, and that's all she ever wanted to be, And she talks to Thor, and she like, Thor, how was your day? He was like, yeah, Loki was trying to threaten me that he was going to kidnap you and hold you hostage for ransom. So I beat him within an inch of his life, so that way he'll never do it again until he does it again. And she just cooks off it. And meanwhile, she's just staring at Moni the whole time. She's like, there's something, and but she don't know why she keeps looking at Moni, and she's like, look, stop looking at Moni. You ain't Thor, I'm Thor, message, and so she just like, leaves, and that's it. She goes to bed. Meanwhile, she goes to bed. She's thinking like, I really want to touch Moni. I want to touch the hammer. So she goes downstairs, sees the hammer, reaches for it. But before she reaches for it, actually, she picks it up, but nothing happens. She's just like, I just want to make sure that, nothing was wrong with the hammer. Thor was like, yeah, pick it up. It's no big deal. Just a hammer. He was like, it's only one problem. This is ammonia. So she smacks Thor, breaks the hammer and smacks him outside of the house, So like, this is ammonia. And you're not Thor. You're like, I'm not? I mean, they told me I was. I guess I'm not, So then when she says that, Thor melts, the house melts, everything melts around them. And, she was like, and you hear just a voice in red just saying, look, I gave you a good deal. You didn't take the deal. So you know what that means. And so if it's in red, that must be Mephisto. So those three little piggies turned out to be three Mephistos. So that's part of the council red, stuff like that. So yeah, so they were like, so the big one is just like, why don't we kill her? Can we please kill her now? They're like, no, we can't kill her because Mephisto's rule, the rule of the devil. Temptation comes before the fall. We have to give them the deal first. Now, when they turn the deal down, then we can kick their ass. So let's go after Jane Foster. So right when they get ready to kick Jane Foster's ass, Mjolnir falls down again. He was like, look, there's nothing we're gonna trick Mjolnir again. And like, no. And then Mjolnir like throws lightning over everybody, like blasting and stuff like that. And it's like, no, it's not a trick. And it turns out it's Jane Foster as Thor, So she actually like threw the hammer down and was looking like that. She's from like a little multiverse. We'll explain which multiverse she's from. And Jane looks at Jane as like, damn, did I always look that cool when I come down? So then they just like, yeah, I heard you was in trouble, Jane. So I came here to help you. So it's two Janes against three Mephistos, and they all fight each other, beat the shit out of each other. Jane turns into Valkyrie, and they go to work and blah blah blah. And they beat the shit out of each other. Yeah, it's cool fight. It's just a whole bunch of panels and just beating the shit out of everybody, And then the whole reality at the end is going to collapse because Jane didn't take the deal, so they escape right before the reality collapsed. So basically, we find out who is this Jane? Where did this Thor Jane Foster come from? She's like, are you me from the future? No, I'm not you from the future. Remember the War of the Realms? When Thor was doing all the crazy shit? Well, in my version of the War of the Realm, Thor died. So when he died, I took up his mantle as Thor. Just like in your version, when Valkyrie died, you took up the version of Valkyrie. So in your version, if Thor would have died, you would have became me. She's like, oh, okay. That's cool. So she was like, well, Jane Foster, I got to go. Other shit to do, but in case we need some trouble, we might need to collect some more Jane Fosters and we'll get together and we'll do some shit. Like, okay, cool. So then they shake hands and Jane Foster flies off. Thor Jane Foster flies off. But Valkyrie Jane Foster flies off and she realizes, damn, I miss her. But she doesn't miss her. She misses her, if that makes any sense. She misses who she was.
Okay,
Yeah, the version because that used to be her, flying around. So then she goes back to Avengers Mountain and they basically, talking about what happened. She's like, oh, Mephisto tempted you, and Tony was like, oh yeah, he tempted me one time. I beat his ass with ice and shit like that, and Jane Foster, and they were like, well, how you beat him, Jane Foster? And Jane Foster like, but the whole time she's like staring at Mjolnir and can't take her eyes off Mjolnir. And she thinking like, okay, Mephisto can't be that damn dumb to think all I ever wanted to be was Thor's wife. That's a dumbass way to tempt me. But what if his real temptation was to show me that Jane Foster that I really wanted to be? Maybe that's the temptation of Mephisto. The end. That's the story. Okay.
Look at that. Look at that handle. That hard, thick handle.
Are you insinuating penis envy, Eli? Is that what?
Oh yeah, I wish I was her so bad.
But she wish she was her, but she also wish she was him. She wants to hold that hammer. So, like I said, the last if you listen to our epic, earth-shattering episode of episode 250, where I talked about an old Norse god Thor story, where Thor lost his hammer, and the Thor hammer could have been a metaphor for penis. This story could be a metaphor for penis envy. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, good call, Eli. Yeah. So yeah. So what you got?
Oh, the only other book I got left is the Godzilla versus the Power Rangers.
Go Power
3.
Rangers. That's all I know about Power Rangers. Oh, I do the Power Rangers thing. You do the Godzilla thing. So this book covers all the fan bases, basically.
Yeah. So this is IDW. They've been doing these mashups, for a while now. Batman versus the Ninja Turtles, He-Man, and DC, I believe. Star Trek. Were they doing Star Trek shit too?
I think so.
With some
Star Trek and Green Lantern or something. I don't know.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is now I don't know much about Power Rangers because I'm old, but I was a fan of Godzilla. So, but basically, the Power Rangers got sucked into another dimension, basically Godzilla world, where Godzilla exists, and Rita Repulsor or whatever her name is.
Rita Repulsor, yeah.
Rita, yeah, she is, basically teams up with the Exilians, which are those aliens from the Godzilla universe, who control like Gigan and Ghidra and all them. And she's like, we'll team up together and, we'll use your monsters and my monsters to destroy the Power Rangers. So Power Rangers show up and they get in their Dragon Zord and they're fighting all these. They're in this issue, they're basically getting their ass whooped by all of Rita's monsters, the Power Ranger monsters, and like Gigan and like all of the Godzilla villains and shit are just beating the shit out of the Dragon Zord. Meanwhile, Rita is trying to brainwash. Is it Tommy, the leader? Is it the Green Ranger or whatever?
Shit, one of them.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the leader, I think his name is Tommy. Yeah. She's trying to brainwash him to like basically control him and shit. And the Power Rangers getting their ass whooped. They're in this Dragon Zord robot thing, and the monsters are beating the shit out of it. Godzilla ends up showing up, but he's kind of tired. Now, for those who don't know, Godzilla gets tired. All the kicking ass.
I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah, all the kicking ass that he does and breathing his atomic breath, he basically gets tired. He powers down, and then he has to go find nuclear energy or electricity to drain power. That's what happens in the first movie. He gets drawn to the power plants, and he goes to, that's how he recharges himself. So yeah, so he's feeling all he's he needs a Snickers bar. You know what I mean? So he's feeling all tired. He's out of it. So with the Power Rangers, we'll use our Dragon Zord sword or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know Power Rangers. I'm sorry if I'm fucking it up for any of you Power Rangers fans, but they use that.
Just call it shit. Just
yeah. I have the power. They take out their sword, phallic symbol again. And shoot their load of energy
so subtle
all over Godzilla's face. And revive them. I have the power, or whatever, or and basically they blast them with the sword energy and basically revive Godzilla. And they're like, okay, it's Godzilla versus and the Dragon Zord, the Power Rangers team up, and they're like, all right, all you monsters, come on. And that's kind of where to be continued. They kind of end, they're finally teaming up. It's not Godzilla versus the Power Rangers, it's Godzilla and the Power Rangers versus all the other monsters.
So. Well, I guess we already know these superhero stories. First, they got to fight.
Yeah.
To know who has the bigger dick, and then they team up and go fight the real bad guy. So that's how all these stories are. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was fun. Another dumb, schlocky fun. Big giant monsters beating the shit out of each other. Big giant robots in the mix. Kids. I guess I can see the appeal. These are kids, right? Fighting shit.
Yeah, they're teenagers. Yeah,
they're teenagers.
They look old as hell, but they're supposed to be teenagers.
Yeah, they're kids. Getting to do cool shit. Kind of like how we grew up like Stranger Things. We grew up on the same things. Wanting to be a part of things. Like Batman and Robin. Robin. Everyone, Batman. And nowadays, all these woke assholes. Batman puts children in danger and shit. No, we wanted to do that. We wanted to tag along with Batman.
The whole point of Robin was to be, look at Batman do cool shit. He's supposed to be us.
Yeah.
Going along with Batman's adventures. Yeah.
Yeah, they get to tag along. Or like fucking Short Round. That's why I love the Temple of Doom from fucking Indiana Jones. Short Round.
Jubilee with Wolverine.
Yeah, it gets to tag along with fucking Indiana Jones and shit. And we just want to be a part of the adventures. That's what it's for.
That's what sidekicks are for.
On what an asshole Batman was for endangering children and all this shit.
Right. Oh man. All right. So
4 out of 5.
Right. 4 out of 5. Okay. Last book I'm gonna do is a Spiderman book. I had a choice between this one and Superman, but that Superman book sucked.
Is this the one with Ramita drawing?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I didn't pick this up.
I'll be honest with you. It's not that it's growing on me. I guess my eyes are getting used to Ramita. You stare at something so long, you just get used to it. I guess I don't know. Getting used to it. So yeah, but that's what this is. Anyway, it's Amazing Spider-Man #2. There's the second book was Zed, whatever his name is. The last book was that. Oh, and Mary Jane's not in this book, so they selling your horse walker right there. This book is about Tombstone is about to get into a war with some other guys, and Spider-Man's caught in the middle of it. It's kind of game war. So that's what's going on right now. So the book starts off with Peter doing the whole thing. You'll get your money when you fix this damn door. That shit right there. And it turns out it's Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn is at his door, but Norman Osborn is reformed. So he's no longer the Green Goblin or the Red Goblin or whatever the fuck supervillain he was, or the Iron Patriot, whatever the fuck he was. He's like, I'm good, Peter. I come to offer you a job. That's it. I can offer you a job. You're like, I know you're not a supervillain, not trying to kill me. You're like, man, I don't do that anymore, man. I'm good. I'm a good guy. And I'm trying to help you out because I know you're broke because you're you. So meet me at 2:30 sharp if you want the job. And my assistant will let you know where the job is going to be at. And we cut back to Peter, and it's 2:35. And Norman shows up with his grandkids. He's like, Peter, you're on time for you. Because he knows it's Peter. They're like, what the hell you want, Norman? You're like, look, I need to go house shopping. Liz needs some time alone, so I need you to babysit the kids. Like, wait, what? That's all I need you to do. Just babysit the kids for 3 hours. You do that, I'll pay you money. I might even like find a house for you. That's it. And one of the kids, both of these kids are like Harry Osborn's kids, stuff like that. So, and Norman just leaves. You're like, cool. Meanwhile, so half of the book is just Spider-Man babysitting. That is it. Cut to Harlem. We go to Tombstone. Tombstone, has gotten in a blast and he's getting war ready. And his daughter, who I guess is the Beetle now, she like, well, I'm about to go to war. And his daughter's like, look, if you better war, I'm going to war with you too. He's like, no, you can't go to war with me because the person that's going to go to war with these people is not going to be your dad. The person going to war with these people, you aren't going to recognize. So I need you to get your boyfriend. And you need to get the kill out of town. And she's like, okay, cool. And she leaves because she knows it's about to go down. Meanwhile, Tombstone is pissed. He's like, look, man. And because, Tombstone used to have all those jagged teeth back in the 90s and shit like that. But now he got like these pearly whites. He's like, I can't believe this. I spent $2,000 on each tooth. So he gets a pair of pliers and he goes to work. So he's like, I'm bringing the old Tombstone back, Meanwhile, we cut back to Peter and 5 o'clock is hit and he's babysitting the kids and he brought the kids back to, he get the kids back to Norman. Like, okay, now it's time for Peter Parker to clock out. Time for Spider-Man to clock in. So he hops over the bridge and flies off and he's like, boom, Tombstone threatened me the other day. I'm going to pay him back for that. So he goes there to Harlem and he finds the White Rabbit You know, they doing some old gangster, dirty, low down, dirty shit. You know, I forgot what they're doing. But anyway, Spider-Man breaks through the door and he's just like, knock, knock. You know, she's like, how'd you find me? He's like, how'd before we get there, this shit was funny right here. She like, Spider-Man, shoot him. And Spider-Man's like, okay, yeah, he's about to shoot me. We're about to do this whole dance. But he's like, wait a minute. My spider sense isn't tingling. The reason it's not tingling is because the guy's not going to shoot him. He's like, I'm not going to shoot Spider-Man. Spider-Man saved my life last issue. Why would I shoot him? You know, I actually owe him a favor. He was like, well, and then he was like, okay, what do you want? He was like, look, I put a spider tracer on you last time. I know you guys ripped the Tombstone. Let's just cut to the middleman. Tell me where Tombstone is, and I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Matter of fact, you tell me where Tombstone is. I won't even chase you guys right now. I'll give you a head start. You know, you're like, I'm not telling you anything. Like, just tell me, and we can go. You know, otherwise, y'all going to jail. She was like, well, shit. Okay, look, he's at 106th and 2nd. You didn't hear that from me, but that's where he is right now. She's like, cool. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you some thrip on the way out. Thrip. Tabs him up. He's like, wait a minute, you said you gonna let us go. We're like, I'll tell you what, when the police come, tell them Spider-Man lied so they can know to go after a person that lied to a two-bit criminal, you know. So she's like, why you sell out Tombstone like that? What makes you think I sold out Tombstone? So we cut to the crime master, who was like the weapons dealer in Upper Harlem or Upper East Side. What is that, Eli Manhattan, I guess? So anyway,
yeah.
He's the guy that's going to sell weapons. He's going to stay neutral and sell weapons to both sides to get money off everybody, you know. Meanwhile, Tombstone like, nah, that ain't gonna happen like that. You're not finna get rich off everybody. See, like Tombstone just been sitting in the shadows the whole time, and he's standing over like two crime master's dead bodies of his goons. He was like, sit down, because last time we was at the meeting, you voted that the Rose was gonna be in office, so that means me and you have an issue. You're like, wait a minute, I said I wasn't gonna be in this thing. Nuh-uh. It ain't no neutrality in this. Nobody's Switzerland. You picking a side, and you picked your side. That means we have a problem. Matter of fact, I need you to get on the phone and call all your men and tell them to come here right now and make it loud. You know, see, he got the jagged teeth now because he's back to the old Tombstone. You know, so Spider-Man just going around till the spider sense go out till he finds some shit going on. And it's pretty easy to find where Tombstone is because it's just a bunch of dead bodies there, and he just sitting in the truck. So like, well, he was easy to find, you know. He was like, Tombstone, what the hell did you do? And like, Spider-Man, because of what you did last time, everybody is questioning my skills and my reputation. So I got to let them know who I am. You're like, what you mean? I did all. He looking at a dead body behind you. You trying to blame this on me? This is my fault? You're like, nah, it's not your fault. I just want to just blame it. I just need an excuse to just beat the shit out of people. Plus, I needed you here because I told you, me and you have unfinished business. And she was like, oh no, you ain't going. So then Spider-Man jumps in the truck with him, and Tombstone tells them to close the truck on them. So they just locked in the truck, and Spider-Man just goes to work on it, starts beating the shit out of Tombstone. He's like, oh, this what you wanted? This is a lesson you was going to teach me? Okay. And then as soon as the truck is fully locked, he's like, okay. And he got steel locked behind it too. He was like, okay, now it's time for your lesson, Spider-Man. And this is where you fucked up. and then Spider-Man tries to hit him again, but this time it ain't doing shit. Nothing. And then while he in the middle of telling one of his jokes, Tombstone punches him in the gut, takes all the wind knocked out of him, grabs him, puts him in a chokehold, and pretty much beats him until he beats him unconscious, you know, and then drags him back to Harlem at that old base where the White Rabbit was, and the White Rabbit is just sitting there laughing. Spider-Man goes to the dock with them. We continue. So yeah. So the whole thing was a trap. So yeah.
So how's Tombstone able to do that shit?
He's Tombstone.
But Spider-Man he can take Spider-Man's shit?
Oh yeah, he's like way stronger than Spider-Man.
Oh really? I did not know that.
Yeah. He okay. So in the 90s, Tombstone had like an augmentation thing, almost kind of like US Agent thing, but it like way more stronger than that. So he's like super strong, not Hulk level, nothing like that, but he's strong. He's stronger than Spider-Man. CJ Rose, what it do? So in a one-on-one fight, like just straight up blows to blows, Tombstone's faster. That's how he was able to survive that explosion last issue. So yeah. So yeah, I'm booked out. I got nothing else. Eli, you got anything else?
I'm booked out too. Yeah.
Yeah, look, Eli, I appreciate you for this show because this was pretty much your episode. You did a whole lot of talking. I'm pretty sure you need like a whole Gatorade with you, something like that. So, yeah, if anybody that like to hear Eli just review and just rant, this is your episode. I'm gonna call this the Eli episode. Next week, I don't know what's coming on this thing. I think Miss Marvel drops next week. I think.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
watch
I
that.
review it, talk about it. It's actually something I know everybody hates it, because it's a young girl. So obviously 40-year-old men are gonna hate on her because why? I don't know. They just will. But we'll talk about, if not, we'll talk about something else. But until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet.